Good morning, you crazy kids. How are you? It feels like just 5 seconds ago that we were right here having a chat, having a glass of wine. And today I'm back with my usual cup of joe. Just going to tell you. Tastes like freedom. How are you? Got a lot to think about today, a lot to talk about. And it's going to be, I think I'm going to talk about Law and Order. Hey, Cassie, yes, have a look. Whoever gave you your membership, please go over and thank. It was probably Suze D. Suze D was on a tear yesterday. And I'm going to start today with a round of applause for Suze D. Because I think she gave maybe either 60 or 80 memberships out yesterday. It was crazy. We were spreading the love. Hang on, my OCD means I've got to move over this way. Now, normally, by the way, as an American, I would not wear the Union flag, but today I'm wearing it because this is my Norton t-shirt and I love Norton motorcycles, but there's a reason for me wearing that. It's in solidarity with our British brothers and sisters, or cousins, whatever you want. Crockett coffee. There you go. That's actually my fourth cup. Yeah, I'm a little bit addicted to coffee. But if you got a membership, I'm going to tell you this right now. If you got a membership, you got to go and say, subscribe, whatever it is. I don't know what. Mike D, you tell them what they've got to do. You tell them what they've got to do. They've got to click, re-up. I don't know what it is. But anyway, like, subscribe. Click the button. One of the things we were talking about yesterday was building this channel for a reason. Okay. And I've said over and over that a lot of this has to do with engagement, like seeing if people really are engaged, if they really care. And you might go, well, they just don't care about you. And then I will cry in a corner, but just very briefly. And then I'll be like, okay, but I'm carrying on anyway. Right, because what I know is that back in the day when I spoke out about COVID, everyone berated me. Everyone went off and off and off and off and off at me. And I was right. And now, hey, Sandy, hey, Cigar Goyle, all right, you go and have your food and then come back. I'm going to be a little while, just a little while. I was right about that. And I'll tell you right now, I spent time, I don't know if you've watched it. It is an absolutely excellent interview with Tommy Robinson on trigonometry. It's unbelievable. And what I did was that confirmed a lot of what I thought about what was going on in the UK. And then today, I reached out to my oldest friend. Like literally we've known each other since we were little babies. I think if you look on, I don't know where it is, there's a picture of me and him. And I was like, literally, I think maybe 18 months, maybe 2 years old, outside the council flats, if you don't know what that is, basically the projects. And I was playing cricket with his dad and him. His name's Paul Pace. He's been a friend of mine for years. Was a Grenadier Guard, real patriot, loves the United Kingdom and loves the USA as well. And he should be watching this. So anyways, I had a chat with him about what's going on in the UK. And this is very, very important for the USA. And that's why I bring it up. That's why I'm going to bring it up multiple days, because it crosses many different issues. So right now in the UK, they did this online safety bill. Now, just cast your mind back to a couple of years ago, what Biden was trying to do. And they were trying to put together, what was it? I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like this commission to look into hate speech online. We all know what that was about, right? It's about shutting us up. And I've been watching very closely what has been going on over in the UK and this just utter mass migration into the UK and into Ireland, which is at a unprecedented level. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And I said to Paul, I was like, Paul, what is going on? I don't understand it. Like, what is going on? And he said something to me, and this is not a guy that, he's a grenadier guard. He's not a guy for hyperbole. And he said, they're doing this so there will be unrest, and then they'll lock us down, and then they'll issue in digital ID. And I was like, totally believe that. Totally believe that. Right? I mean, doesn't it make sense to you that that's what they want to do? They've wanted to do it for a long time. I think the Brexit kind of knocked them back a little bit. That's what the people out there, they're like, Brexit was a mistake. I voted for Brexit and it was a mistake. I'm like, do you understand what it stopped? That you guys don't even realize what it stopped? Some people say that it's made the immigration worse. That might be true. Might not be true. I don't know. But I do think, because I said to Paul, I'm like, it's going to kick off. Like, there is going to be violence in the UK. You can feel it. I can feel it, and I'm thousands of miles away. I see it online. I see the way the people are reacting. And by the way, totally justified. Now, I know in the UK, they'd probably arrest me for that, but I don't care because it's the truth. And if you go and watch the Tommy Robinson interview, and I didn't really know anything about him. I knew that he was going out and he was speaking out about radical Islam. And there was a few things that he said that I saw, and I was like, what they're saying about him doesn't actually make sense. Because he'd turn up to these things, they'd be like, you're a racist, you're a Nazi. I'm like, he's standing right next to a black guy. Uh-oh, guess who's trying to get in? Oh, he gave up. He did one push, and then he gave up. Let's bring in Honesty and Truth in the house for 10 English pounds. You don't get rid of us that easily messing about with the Times GMT. Tut joke. The communities here are rising up against the visitors. 3 meals a day, phone, taxis, heating, all free. Enough. And you know what you get for that, don't you? Honesty and Truth. Sparkly line. Sparkly line's a new thing. I'm just saying. I look at you guys and you're so awesome supporting the channel. I'm like, how can I not give them the sparkly line now? I don't know. Maybe when it's just specifically sparkles for the ladies. But when you say something especially awesome, you're going to get the sparkly line. It's the way we roll. So, it didn't kind of make sense to me. Like I said, he was there with black guys, with Asian guys on his side. And I'm like, oh, they're saying he's a racist. And again, I said this yesterday, right? I was like, one of the biggest BS lines that you can get is like, oh, you're a racist. You go, well, I've got black friends. Well, they all say that, you got black friends. Well, how else are you meant to show that, right? Well, I don't have any black friends. Oh, I see you're racist. Oh, I do have black friends. Everyone who's racist says that. It's absurd. Like, you can't win. It's a typical leftist tactic to shut you up. There's no winning. I don't agree with them transing kids. You're anti-gay. You're homophobic. I actually didn't say anything about gays. I was talking about transphobe. I'm not afraid of trannies. I'm wary of them being weird and going into my daughter's locker room. You tell me whether that is a legitimate thing to be worried about. 5 minutes ago, that was not a problem. I don't understand it. And I'm going to lay this out quite clearly because I love the interview, by the way. And the guys kind of pushed Tommy Robinson on a few things. By the way, one of the things that drives me bonkers, because I am from a poor working class background. And nearly everyone that I grew up with has made something of themselves. And I truly believe that is because it was the Reagan Thatcher era and the work ethic that our parents, or parent in my case, like instilled in me and in my friends. We've all done well. But it's this thing that if you aren't eloquent in the way you speak, or if you use colloquialism. So, for example, Tommy Robinson said done a lot. And that is very much something from the London area that you say done. I was thinking about this the other day because in the UK, in my area, in the Black Country, I was listening to a guy giving commentary on my soccer team. And he gets a lot of the tenses wrong, like was and were. And I saw this with my wife, like I've told you guys, like she would say stuff that was in the vernacular in her country. And I'm like, you can't say that because you get it backwards. And it happens to me all the time. It happens to me all the time where I have to like correct myself. But if you listen to Tommy Robinson, and when he says, I done this, I done that, it's easy to dismiss him because you'd think he's getting the tense wrong. I did, instead of done. I done this. But that's just, it is the way that people speak in his area. It just is. And in the same way, the Black Country accent where I come from is a dialect. So I'll give you just a very simple example of this is, and I had to change it, being an actor, is in the Midlands, they say buzz, not bus. They say buzz. What time's the buzz coming? And they'll say king. So it's easy to dismiss him because of his dialect. But let me tell you something. The dude is very, very smart. He's clearly very smart. And I don't like that dismissal. And also, I don't like this kind of accusation that he's a thug, right? Because he says back in the day I was involved in football hooliganism. Let me tell you, everybody I grew up with was involved in football hooliganism. All the lads. And you guys out there in England can tell me, if you're Gen Xers, you at some point, if you followed soccer, would get into a fight to a person. I'm just telling you, it's the way it was. And he says something that's very interesting. He said, we go and we'd fight. And I've said this multiple times. We go and we'd fight and we'd just use our fists and that was it. And it could be expected. Now you could avoid it and it always gave you a little bit of an edge, right? When you were going to a game, you'd be like, okay, it's going to go off. I remember West Brom playing Wolves and me walking back into the town centre because I didn't have my normal ride, and I had a Wolves fan come right up into my face and I was like, here we go. Right. Suffice to say, the people that are going to save England are the football hooligan generation. And one thing the guys said in this interview was, I think they said like 400 years ago, you'd be the guy that they'd be calling to go and save the country. Well, it's true right now. Because you are dealing with violent fanatical individuals. And you're not going to talk your way through it. Anyone that is a responsible parent understands that there comes a point where we've got to this point in society. Remember Super Nanny? Well, you have to talk to them. No, you don't. No, you don't. Not always. Sometimes you just say, I'm the boss, I'm your father, and you're going to do as I say. I have a thing with my kids where I tell them, I want them to say, can I ask you why? because I don't want them to say, why? Because I don't have to give a reason why. I don't have to. And what it does is it teaches kids in authority. If your boss tells you do this, you don't get to ask why. We've disadvantaged kids. And you see it over and over with this ridiculousness like, officer, no, I'm not going to do this. My Fifth Amendment right, blah, 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 blah. And instead of just like, there are some times that you should absolutely know your rights and not always comply, right? But sometimes just comply. Like, just let's get on with the day, right? They have to go through a process. They know it. We know it. Just move on. And I said to my kids, I'm like, listen, you don't get to debate a cop. You can have your day in court, but you don't get to debate a cop. It's stupid. It's going to get you arrested. Honesty and truth in the hizzle again. Rachel from accounts wants to put VAT on Christian church repairs on mosques as well. If not, surely that is discrimination. 2 MPs caught having a jolly boys out on taxpayers. Sack 'em. The amount of corruption that's been going on is unbelievable. Hey, Tom, we're still praying for you over here. And just remember, you got a membership now, which is awesome. That was Sue's DA as well, I think. Again, yesterday, got you a membership. I hope you have a good day, like Mikey D said. We got your back, brother. Thank you for all your support. So, we're in a situation now. Joan Lovelace in the house. I'm just going to, because we love Joan. We love having Joan back. We have a major problem where, and again, I felt like I was watching this interview and everything that was being said, I say on here. And what is really interesting is they say that what Tommy Robinson was saying 20 years ago is considered to be absolutely right today. Does that sound familiar? What he was saying back then, and by the way, he makes a great point, and I've said this over and over. He has Muslims with him that are like, watch those guys. Like, these guys are bad news. If you want a comparison, I guess, I'm Catholic. Many Catholics condemned what the IRA were doing. Many Irish condemned what the IRA were doing. Shirley Betterton in the house. Gives 5 Matthew Mosley channel memberships. We are on to a banger already today. So, Carl Miller, Based Effigy, Teresa Gammon, Truth Teller 88, Enigma. You all got memberships from the most awesome and, may I say, stunningly beautiful Shirley Betterton. And of course, Shirley, you get the sparkly line. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Thank you so much. And again, thank you for supporting the channel. It is growing. It is growing. Unfortunately, what I feel is going to happen is there's going to be an incident where I'm going to be proven correct. And then all of a sudden, pew, the numbers are going to go up. I want that to happen before that happens. We want to try and prevent it. I don't want to be sitting here going, I told you so. And again, as I've said before, what I'm trying to do, and all my regular peeps understand this, is grow a community together. Because listen, this is what's going to happen pretty soon in the UK. The online safety laws means it's going to shut people down from talking. There's not going to be free speech in the UK. They don't even have it anyway. Who's been saying that for a long time? This guy. And I have people going, no, you don't understand. We have it under the EU, the Commission for Human Rights, or whatever it is. I'm like, but you don't have what we have here. You don't. And the next thing they're going to do is they're going to say Islamophobia, and they're going to shut everything down. That's what they're going to do. Now, I'm going to tell you again. I don't know if you've noticed, because according to them, there are a bunch of white dudes converting to Islam. So how is that race? How is that race? How is it race when there are Sikhs and Hindus and other Muslims saying, watch out for those guys, they're bad? How can it be race when it is Saudi Arabia looks and goes, we don't want those guys in our country? Like, no way. When Jordan says that, and they're all Muslims, they're not stupid. We have to talk about this. And now I feel like it's getting to a tipping point that people are brave enough to talk about it. But the truth is, UK, and by the way, USA, your government is terrified of being labeled bigots, Nazis, whatever it might be, whatever phobe you want to put into it. It shouldn't matter to you. We're past that. I saw this whole thing about this epic city that's going on in Texas, and they were saying, no, it's open to everybody. We can't say that it's not open to everybody. But what they're going to do is they're going to charge you a fee that goes to the local mosque for the upkeep of the area. Because you're not going to go and live there, are you? I mean, nobody's going to go and live there. It's not going to happen. This is very, very, very dangerous. So what we are going to do, what this community is going to do, because I don't have any overlords, right? Nobody's paying me to come and do this podcast or this show. So what we do is we keep it between ourselves. This is your channel. I keep saying it. It's your channel. We get to keep talking like this. And guess what? There's going to be times where people are going to come on here and they're going to say, I need your help. That's what's going to happen. And you will have built a relationship over many, many, many months. And you'll know those people. And trust me, it is going to be a lifeline for them. I saw it under COVID. You know, when I spoke up about COVID, all of a sudden, DM. Thank you for, I thought I was losing my mind. Thank you for standing up. Thank you. I thought I was losing my mind. And over here, of course, all the actors that kept doing their job by doing fake vaccine cards, they texted me as well, like, yeah, Matt, go on. Do you know how many of those guys have hired me in their television shows and movies? 0. Do you know how many of those guys have called me up and said, hey, listen, let me put you in contact? 0. Do you know how many people, and I can say this right now, how many conservatives have hired me? Right, since I came out, 0. The only people that came in was Andy Wakefield, and they recognized that I stood up against the vaccine. And I did a movie about it because that guy, nobody's been cancelled more than Andy Wakefield, and nobody's been more right than Andy Wakefield. It was called a complete loony. He's been called everything under the sun. Last Boomer in the house. Hey, brother, just had injections in my back. Rangers lead the way, all the way. So I'm a little foobar, but keep chopping the wood and preaching the truth. Rock on. Oh, yeah. Hey, Tanya, you got one. Yeah, but by the way, guys, I am going to get my neck done, and I'm not going to stop doing these. I'm not going to stop doing them. So I will go and get a disc replacement in my neck, and I'm going to keep doing them. I don't care. I'm going to be like this. I don't care. In the USA, we were right on the edge. And if you go, please, I want you guys to tell me you're going to go. Here's the thing about me. I'm not like looking at somebody else and going, no, don't send people over to. No, information is information, right? And I think that the trigonometry interviews are some of the best, right? They're amazing. And if you go and watch that interview with Tommy Robinson, it will blow your mind on how he's been treated. No, 2 discs. Because I can't do anything by halves, can I? I have to like go 2. So go and watch it. And it should, I don't want to say terrify you because I'm not that guy. Oh, it's going to terrify you. Oh my gosh, you're going to be terrified. No, what it's going to do, it's going to inform you on how they manipulated things in the UK. It is shocking. It's shocking. Now, of course, I'm taking it that everything he said is true. I don't see why not. But the truth is, men like him are going to save the UK. It's true. It's going to be a working class guy, or a bunch of working class, black, white, and Asian, by the way, dudes that are going to go, I'm done. So, that's been Rage of Medicine 2 Motrins. Get back for your socks. That's so true. I'm going to have them replaced. Nana knows. So I think that, listen, I'm very fortunate. I come from a working class council estate. I grew up with rough men. And I got into Hollywood, which there's not a lot of rough men in Hollywood. I can tell you that right now. There's a few. And I moved to America, and that has allowed me to see the world in what I think is kind of a unique prism. It doesn't mean that I'm the only one that has it, but I'm certainly one of the only actors that has that view. And it's funny because it's not like, oh, I'm a conservative over here in the US and I grew up and my parents were Republican and, you know, I had this like amazing upbringing with two parents, blah, 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 blah. No, I had something completely different. And also, if you think about it, the difference between 1997 and now, which is when I really got my first big break, the media landscape has almost completely changed. It's almost completely changed. And I'm telling you right now, it is up to you. It is up to you to build this. And when I say it's up to you, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not doing it, right? I'm here every day. I'm doing what I'm doing. But what I'm saying is it's your choice now. Rather than being fed things that you don't want, and you're like, oh, that's crap, right? Oh, that's crap. You get to say, this is what I want to watch now. And when it grows, you can turn around and say, Matt, how about doing a movie? And then I can go to investors and go, listen, I've got 1 million followers on YouTube. They want to see a movie. Will you fund it? And they will fund it because they know if you've got 1 million followers, and let's just say half of those followers watch it, and they pay $1 for a film, then you're going to have $500,000 come in. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you guys get to build it. I just wish people would understand the power that they have. I want to empower you to do what you want, to get what you want. I haven't really seen, I saw Benny Johnson said something like this the other day, and I was like, oh, okay, like he gets it, right? He's doing that. And I'm saying right now is that you guys have all the power. This is all about empowering you. It's all about you guys having the power to influence the government because they don't care about you as individuals. They don't. They don't give a shit. In fact, I've said this over and over and over. It's like lions in the savannah, right? They're like, oh, that wildebeest is straight off on his arm. Boom! If you stand up by yourself in the UK, you will be the sacrificial lamb. You will. And I look at what's happened with Tommy Robinson, and now he's getting people behind him. Now he is. But he's going up against, not only is he going up against like the behemoth of the government, because they're all too cucked to do anything about things. Oh, I don't know what to do. Right? He's going up against these gangs. And that's not a joke. It's not like us here in Texas. We can be armed to the teeth, and at least if anyone comes for us, we'll have enough time to at least get away. You don't have that in the UK. If tomorrow they decided to start rioting, what would you do? Because the police aren't going to come and help you. And by the time they mobilized the army, which, by the way, they dropped all the standards for the army, it's the smallest army in years, what are you going to do? The only way to do it is to have a network that you can contact. The bad guys have that network. Anyway, Crockett Coffee. I've told you about Crockett Coffee before. You know what? It's very good. Started by my buddy Buck Sexton. I'm just going to cut to the chase. It's great coffee by a father and son team. And they give money to Tunnels to Towers. If you don't know what that is, go and look it up. It's amazing. Crockett Coffee. They are my first and only sponsors, by the way, because they came to me and they said, I see you drink a lot of coffee and your values are aligned with ours. And I'm like, finally, somebody gets it. You got to support your own people. So if you go over to Crockett Coffee, look down there, crockettcoffee.com. Normally I put a link in. I know that Lisa Perch has been reposting the link for me. I should have put it in. I'm going to put it in for the replays. Matthew 20, get 20% off store-wide. They have everything. They've got like the medium roast. This is mine. This is my dark roast. And it says, because I've learned that what they used to say in my hometown was king. Now I'll say King Mountain Blend. It's very good. And they do mushroom coffee. I haven't tried that yet. I will try it. Still trying to get my head around it. I know a lot of people love it. I know a lot of people love it. But I'm like, it's coffee. It's like decaf. I'm like, I don't like, for me, I know people drink mushroom coffee because they might be allergic to coffee. But I need my caffeine. That's all I'm going to say. Need the caffeine. So anyway, they are aligned with us. And this is what we need to do. We need to promote and purchase things from the people that agree with us. The left does it all the time. It's not enough anymore to just say, I'm not going to buy Bud Light or I'm not going to buy this. You need to get over and start supporting these people, because what they will do, as they did with me, Buck and Mason Sexton said, you're one of us, right? And that is going to allow me to grow the channel. And again, for those of you that can't afford to like it or to subscribe, to get memberships and re-up your membership, maybe you can afford to get your coffee because you got to buy your coffee anyway. And all these other companies hate you. Just saying, they hate you and they put their money into different things. So Crockett Coffee is not like that. Matthew 20, go over there, get your coffee, tell me what it's like. I believe Mike D bought some last night. He was like, yes, I'm going to go and get it. Hey, Adam Gamer, how are you? And I like their cups. Don't you think that's a cool cup? It feels really good, man, I've got to say. Won't go the same in the hizzle. Putting it in a slightly different way, you and others on YouTube that we follow are our representatives. X gave us our voice back, but you amplify that voice. Sparkly Lion for the Truth, another fantastic comment. Wonko the Sane, or as I call him, Wonko the Awesome, has supported me for a long time now, and I really appreciate you, Wonko, seriously. And you're right. Like, think of it as the tip of the spear. Right? The bigger you get, the more you're able to affect change. The more people... Here's the thing. The government should fear you. It should fear you. And you know what? The government doesn't fear you. It certainly doesn't fear you in the UK. They fear everything. Do you know why? Because people go out... Have you seen these marches for Palestine? They go out, they march and everyone goes, oh my goodness me, look at how many people support this. And what you don't see is all the other people that don't support what they're doing. And they're like, yeah, but we don't support it, but, we don't exactly have anything to go and rally about. And if you go and do a counter rally, guess what? You're going to be done for hate speech because Palestinians are brown. See how they've got you in a jiu-jitsu hold. So the only way to do it is just to constantly dispel them. Again, if you go and watch what Tommy Robinson has been trying to do, and again, like I said, until this interview, I didn't know much about him. And he's absolutely ahead of the game. 100% ahead of the game. And I watched it and I was like, that's a lot of stuff that I say. And again, it's because I think that we come from kind of similar backgrounds and, you know, we're not detached. We're not like, I am not detached. I care about the people from my home country, from my hometown. I care about that. The UK stood up against tyranny multiple times. The UK, Great Britain, ended slavery. Don't forget, the USA, a bunch of white dudes fought against each other, and black guys fought against each other to end slavery as well. This is just completely passed over. Oh, by the way, Last Boomer just brought this up. I don't know if you saw it. There's this amazing footage on X. Now, I've retweeted it. There's a Chinese destroyer and there's a Chinese, I don't know if it's like a Coast Guard or patrol boat that was going after a Filipino, would it be called a Filipino patrol boat? I don't know what was going on, but the Chinese Coast Guard boat hit the destroyer. It's crazy footage. It's crazy. And it's like, there's a big frigging ship there. Don't hit it. Try not to hit it. I'll tell you this. I'll be very surprised if the guy who was the captain of that ship isn't disappeared. So, listen. Think about this. If we do not help, at least vocally, at least with support, the Brits, in 20 years' time, that will be an Islamic country with nuclear weapons. And I don't mean a good one either. Trust me, Saudi Arabia will not want that country to be Islamic. And you know, a lot of the time I speak about these things and people go, oh, you're Islamophobe. It's not that at all. It's not that at all. It's talking about a real problem. If we spoke about, look, Patriot Front. Remember them Patriot Front? They walk around in their khakis and we're all looking at them and go, you guys are ridiculous, but we're completely against you and what you stand for. What's different? Why can't we say that about this other group? Why can't we say that? Why can't we say this is a worry? Honesty and truth. It's not just the UK, but all of Europe that is on the knife's edge with visitors. All Europeans are at threat in the UK. It'll be strikes and young men who stop it as they did in the poll tax in the 1980s. I don't look old enough, do I? I know. Do you know what's funny? I went and bought a bottle of wine the other day from the local grocery store, and when you self-checkout, which by the way is bullshit, like they've allowed you to self-checkout, which basically means they should take the prices down of things because they're saving on cashiers. I always ask this one girl, I'll go, are you going to card me? You're going to card me, aren't you? You're going to card me. And she laughs every time. I'm like, I know, I don't look old enough to be buying this. And she laughs every time. Silly things like that just brighten up people's day. Like Mikey D gifting memberships brightens up people's days. So iCelt, Brother Sicko, Tarot Leaf 224 SBR, not quite sure what that means. Extarlina, 27, Demo 294. All thanks to, let's all hail Mikey D in the house. Yes. Thank you, Mikey D. And as Mike D will no doubt say, re-up your membership. See, I remember what it means now. I couldn't get that out earlier on. Not enough Crockett coffee. Matthew 20. Please say thank you to Mikey D, but also go over and re-up your membership. Click on it so we start building. It's really important. Yesterday, when Suze D went on a bender and she gave like 1 trillion memberships out, I was like, I've seen that person get a membership before. I've seen that person get a membership before. Please re-up it. Come and join us, because there's going to come a point where you guys are going to be like, we need to talk. We need you to focus on this. This happened. And they're going to shut the Brits down. They're going to do it. Remember this. They're going to shut the Brits down. There's going to be a lot of people going to jail. See, there you go, Mikey D. If you're up today, you won't be charged for 30 days. Listen, if you got a discount like that on your phone, you would do it. I'm just saying, you would. You know, after a while, I'm like, you know what? I have to say these things because I am, believe it or not, normally, I think it's because I'm a different generation to the generations out now. Like, you don't go out and you're not a self-promoter. And you realize that if you don't self-promote, like, nobody's going to promote for you. So I'm like, and it took me a long time to get over that, right? It took me a long time because I like keeping on the down low, believe it or not. And I'm like, well, you know what? I've got to do it. I've got to do it. Because that's the only way you grow, right? It's the only way you grow. It's the only way that, I mean, I could tell you some stories, guys, the way that I've been stabbed in the back by a lot of conservatives, and I'm not the only one. You can see when Nick Searcy talks about it as well. Like, it's bad. So the only way that we can grow and do things in a different way is if you guys give us the opportunity to do it. And I said this the other day about Piers Morgan, because Piers Morgan said something about Tommy Robinson. He was like, you know, Tommy, you've got 1.4 million followers and I have, I don't know, like 3 times the amount or maybe 4 times the amount. The point is, and I replied, if the social media was around when I was in Coronation Street, 19 million people watched that show. What do you think my following would be? I think I was on maybe 10 covers of magazines in the 1 year that I was there. What do you think my following would be? So it's unfair when you have actors and media personalities that are using the mainstream media, the old mainstream media, and marketing and all that to promote and get bigger followers, to look at someone like Tommy Robinson, who started at the bottom by himself. He doesn't have his own show. He doesn't have a show on ITV or Channel 4 or BBC One or BBC Two. He doesn't have that. And it's the same thing now. If I was in a movie, then I could go out and I could leverage that, right? And leverage the marketing. But that's not going to happen. So now we're in a situation where we build organically, and we have to build organically because you guys have to still believe in it. You know what I mean? And that's why we can build organic coffee. Last Boomer in the house says, for 5 buckaroonies, don't worry, Matt, as soon as the Kelly Turnbull movie gets made, you'll be rolling in the dough. Of course you get the sparkly line. Yes, you do. What the Last Boomer's talking about is my friend Kurt Schlichter has written a series of books, and he wants me to play the lead in them. But guess what? Again, we can't get conservatives to stump up the money. And these are movies that you would absolutely love. The books are brilliant, and we can't get the funding for it. All right, Tom, we're going to give you this. You're fighting the cancer, so Sparkly Lion goes with you to fight it with you, my brother. Look at all these great people. Yeah, but here's the thing. I know Jay here says, JMC says, Piers Morgan makes me sick. You guys have the opportunity to build something. I keep saying it. By the way, let's switch our attention a little bit to the United States, because I think this is really important. That Trump has seized the DC police, right? It's this headline in Fox is saying that Trump takes DC police control as Pirro targets absurd team crime laws. DC is just mental. What they do there is crazy, and that's why the Democrats have for so long wanted it to be a state. They've wanted it to be somewhere where they can have a seat. No. So that's how bad it is. This is what we need. We've got to straighten all this out. Like, we need to get our streets safe again. And Trump is doing everything he can to do that. First thing, stop the immigration. Illegal immigration. Stop it. Next, he's saying, I'm taking on the cartels. This is exactly what we voted for. This is exactly what people want. They want to be safe when they go out. They want low taxes. The Fed is going to drop its rates. It has to by quarter of a percentage point. And it's going to do it multiple times by the end of the year. It's got to. That guy, is it Jerome Powell? They're going to cut that. And I reckon Trump, see what they're going to say immediately is, Trump is taking control of the police. But Biden and Obama weaponized almost every aspect of the federal government. The only place they didn't weaponize was actually the CBP, which they should have weaponized CBP and ICE, but they didn't. Although Obama was the deporter in chief. Nobody likes to talk about that right now, but he was. So credit where credit's due. That man actually has torn the country apart racially. Worst president apart from Joe Biden. He wasn't really, he's like a vegetable, wasn't he? Let's face it. Not walking around like, didn't know what he was doing. Jim, listen, I'll go further than that. He should drop it by, Jim just said, let me get up a second, sweating. Powell said, Jim says that Powell should drop the rate by a full point. Initially he should, and then he should do it 2 months later by another point. And by the way, they should abolish property tax. Just saying. Hey, Zephyr. I've got to take Archer. You know what he did the other day? Archer, got to tell you, I love golden retrievers, right? But they will eat anything. And I think he grabbed hold of some soap. I'm like, you can't want to eat soap. I mean, by no stretch of the imagination does that taste good. But he's a golden. He hasn't come in yet. I don't know why. I don't know where he is. Archer! We'll see. We'll see if we can bring him in a bit. Say hello. Archer! Could be outside. Let's see how good a dog's hearing is. Anyways, so here's the other thing I wanted to just mention is how many of you have gone and seen a movie recently? What was the last movie you watched? And are you inspired by them? I was debating on going and seeing Fantastic Four, even though I cannot stand Pedro Pascal. I just don't like him as an actor. I think he's very boring. And I'm not just saying that, right? Because there are plenty of other people, like, I don't agree what Brian Cox says, but I think Brian Cox is a fantastic actor. But he just, you know, it actually turns me off going to watch it. And I'm not really bothered about it, which you couldn't say that a few years ago. I remember finishing Infinity War and going, I've got to wait for Endgame. You're kidding me? I really wanted to see it. I really enjoyed the movie. Oh, we got a new member. Oh, hang on. Did I miss something? Let me go back. I can't see. Sorry. Sandy, I'm sorry. Did it come up on the screen? Put on a bit of a tear. Joan. We have a new member, Sandy Medway. So, for both Joan, who brought my attention to it, because sometimes I can get a little bit carried away, and for Sandy Medway, you get the sparkly line. Yes, you do. In fact, it's 2 sparkly lines, right? Yeah, Tanya just said, yay, Sandy Medway. I'm going to give you some more applause there. Thank you so much for joining. This is amazing. Honestly, I know, look, the people who are gifting the memberships understand how important this is to build this platform, right? They understand what a big deal it is to grow and grow and grow and grow. And this is not, like I said, I keep saying, it's not for me. It's about having the ability to bring other people up. I'm getting to be an old fart now, guys. I'm sorry, I am. I know I asked the woman to card me, but I'm getting old. Some people might say I'm old. But, yeah, we've got to really kind of appreciate one another in this moment, because I think that although we've got a little bit of a reprieve with Trump, like the left is still like reeling, right? Because what you're not seeing is a bunch of stuff that's going on behind the scenes, and also the effect that it's having in the UK. Because the more that Trump succeeds, the more frustrating Brits are going to be with Keir Starmer. You see it now is like, one let in, one return. Everyone's like, why do we have to let one in? Why do we have to do that? And these citizen journalists that are going around and they're exposing all these migrant hotels, and they look and they go, hang on a minute, like America's got this giant border and Trump just shut it down. Like we have the English Channel in between us and them. Can you imagine if you had patrolling submarines up and down that you could see that they're on the surface, or that look, if you want to see something that's amazing, go and look up. I'm a nerd like this, but the Type 45 destroyer, incredible ship. It's unbelievable. In fact, it's so unbelievable that when it was sent to the Falkland Islands, Argentina, under the old commies, said that is an act of war because it could destroy their entire air force before it took off. That's how great the Type 45 destroyer is. So they do not need to be letting these people over. If I was Prime Minister of the UK, I'm not joking, I would build massive guns on the cliffs and I would patrol that Type 45 destroyer up and down, up and down, up and down. And I'd be like, if you're coming over, we're going to shoot you out the water. I don't care. But you got to ask yourself, why are they doing this? And it has to be to cause chaos. It has to be. Because, look, why was Biden doing it? Now, I've got to tell you this. It's brilliant what Trump is doing. He shut the border down. He said he's going to go after the cartels. And let me tell you something. That is not going to be a joke. Like that war between the cartels and the military is not a joke. It's not going to be as simple as people think, right? But our boys will take care of business if their hands are untied. So you have that going on. He's attacking the fentanyl, right? Going after the fentanyl, which has ruined so many people's lives, so many deaths. On, if you look at the ways comprehensively going after immigration, it's amazing. Now, that is only to get us back to normal. Like, we got to deport 7 million at least to get us back to what we were 4 years ago. That is mental. That's mental. You'd have to like ferry them out every day. There'd be like, train loads of them leaving. But what he's doing is he's stopping them from being able to vote. And that is going to be absolutely crucial for the future of this country. And what's going to happen is things are going to start getting better here. If I see someone bitching and moaning again about tariffs that doesn't understand about how tariffs work, if you tariff another country, they've already got tariffs on us, right? So we tariff them. What's going to happen? They're going to bring the manufacturing here, or they're going to have to drop their prices and absorb the cost. Everyone keeps saying, well, it's going to be passed on to the people. No, well, you just don't buy it, do you? If you've got a Toyota and all of a sudden there's a 10% tariff on top or whatever it is, you're not going to buy that car. You're going to go and buy American. And Toyota knows this, so either what they're going to do is they're going to start manufacturing in the US, or they're going to bite it because they take the profit, guys. Their profits are going to go down. They have to, because this is the biggest economy in the world. They have to do it. And people don't understand this. Like, we're already being taken advantage of. And who was one of the guys who was told that he wasn't an expert on it that said that this would work? Me. Because people don't understand negotiation. They don't get it. What has happened so far? Most countries have sucked it up. You can't eliminate the US and survive as a global company. You can't do that. It's too big. It's not going to be like that forever if we don't rectify it. So there's going to be a little bit of bumpiness, right? But eventually, that's what we get. You saw the deals for, taking cars over into Europe. I mean, it's just brilliant. He's brilliant. You won't find a better negotiator than that guy. I'm just telling you. There's some things that you can criticize Trump for, but he literally wrote a book called The Art of the Deal, and everybody knows he's a great negotiator. So he knows exactly what he's doing. And by the way, if it goes wrong, as I said before, he'll just stop it. It's that simple. But what you're seeing now is the left is losing their mind because they're losing their grip on it. They're losing their grip. Like, I think I saw someone say this the other day. It's like every time they say, this is an attack on our democracy, replace democracy with our power. This is an attack on our power. Because if you have illegals gone from California, they lose a massive amount of votes. I don't know if you saw it the other day, but this guy was breaking it down. I don't know the precise numbers, but he was saying, like, basically, because I tell you, there are tons and tons of Republicans in California, but they only have, like, even though it's like maybe it's 43, 57, or, whatever the split is, but they have 17% representation. How is that right? How can you even say that that's fair? And yet they're talking about gerrymandering in Texas, like, you can't gerrymander. And then they look at Chicago. Do you see Chicago with that finger that goes like that, goes over? They gerrymandered. Again, we've got to just keep calling them out. Keep calling them out. And by the way, when we move forward with this channel, when we start getting to our 18,000 subs, right? Still waiting on the 18,000 subs. We're going to start doing our own citizen journalism. I'm going to ask people, send me in your videos. Tell me what's happening in your area, and we will get it out there. Now, of course, we'll be demonetized and all that other bullshit. That doesn't matter. That's not what we're doing this for. We'll figure something else out. But I'll tell you this, there is, should I say, a legion of kids that want to get into media, and I see them being taken advantage of, and it's so wrong. And I'll look sometimes and go, well, why am I in this position? Well, I've produced movies. I've directed a movie. I've produced a documentary. I've written multiple movies. I've been on television in the UK. I've been on television in America. I've been in movies in England. I've been in movies in America. I've had chart success in the UK. I've done all these different things. So I have this like knowledge of, certainly maybe it's archaic now, a little bit archaic with the way it was. Like I don't understand the music industry like I did, but I've still had experience in it that I can identify talent and see about how you go about developing that. And a lot of people, you can see it right now, cling on to their fame. I don't care about that. I want to build for my kids. So, you guys have got to choose. It's your choice. Like, it's a very competitive space, right? But again, I'm not going out right now and doing those static interviews. I'm not doing XYZ. This is a show for you guys to talk about things that you want to talk about, to address the community, to build the community. I'm telling you, something's going to happen, and this community is going to be absolutely essential. Trust me, it's very difficult when nobody has your back. And I've been there. So now that's not the case. I got my army on here. And on that very, very positive note. Oh, look, Sandy Medway says, I saw a clip of you on Top of the Pops singing. Most unexpected, and what a joy to see you enjoy singing. Yeah, you know what? I'm an actor, let me talk about me. I've been debating coming back and doing something unplugged, just to... Because I won't even go into karaoke, you know that. I have to have a few beverages in me to go into karaoke. Oh my gosh. If our town Mayo keeps to its track, our town will be dead in 10 years. This is the reality of it. This is the reality. I told you guys the other day there's a town in Ireland that was like 98% Irish in 2018, and now it's 34% Irish. That's a major problem. And they're not going to change it because they're afraid of them. It's all intentional, guys. It's all intentional. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming today. I'll be back on Wednesday at noon. We love the nighttime one, so I think I'm going to do another nighttime one maybe later on in the week and maybe Sunday. But thank you so much for supporting me. I really appreciate it. Keep those connections going, right? Exchange emails. Joan, that's Top of the Pops. That's like the Billboard chart show. So you guys keep talking, keep the vibe going. I think I might have to get something like a Patreon or something so you guys can talk more offline. But thank you so very much for being here. Thank you for everyone. Thank you to everyone who's supporting the channel, especially with the memberships, the super chats. You guys are awesome. Buy a Crockett coffee. Go to Crockett Coffee, Matthew 20. Honesty and truth, right? In the end, she's like, no. I'm going to do another one. I'm going to keep Matt on a little bit longer, and I will be glad to. The problem here is that since Thatcher in the 80s, the government has slid to the left, whether Labour or weak Tories. The right wing is seen as racist. They are not, but no compelling leader yet. As I said, if I didn't love America that much and I thought I could make a difference, that's the only thing that would bring me back to the UK. But it would be so tumultuous if I came back because I would be zero tolerance. So anyway, God bless you guys. I'll see you on Wednesday. And remember, not all actors like this, I promise. Bye-bye.